Can you hear me? I hope you can. I hope you can hear the game too. We do have a fantastic game ready for everybody. And we have a new interface too. This is our big surprise for today. Person who I don't know if he wants his name mentioned or not, has been doing this amazing interface for us. And we're going to be able to see it. It's better than those poles with snakes on them, I guess. So, it's good. Pause lock is happening right now. Yeah, little snaky thing. I don't know. I think I want to make the snake a lot thinner, but it's the first time around, so we will see what happens. Anyhow, all right. So let's start with this game. Let's look at first and foremost what the lanes are. So we see a Yamato with Talon. Pretty normal combo. Talon is very good at poking, and so is Yamato, to be fair, but the ability to just chase people down, get those last-second kills, present in both. You can press your ult and get a kill with the Talon Owl. You can press your ult and get a kill with Yamato. Yeah, Shiv and guys going in. Very interesting. Two very powerful, two very frontline heavy people. I guess they really, really want to win this lane. Yeah, in lane number 2. We have a Pocket and a Dynamo. Both of them are interesting. Pocket has a lot of splash, so if you get a very good Dynamo ult, you could potentially kill 2 people at the same time. The Mo and the Mirage together also makes sense. You use the Tornado. That enables you to get a combo. Mirage also can output a lot of damage pretty quickly, and also has incredible poke, which so does Mo. So good sustain, but definitely the weaker lane, and we already have a kill on lane number 1. Anyhow, on lane number 3, we do see the Paradox in, and the Paradox is teamed up with an Abrams, which is interesting pick. I guess you do a swap into wall. I mean, the combos are there. This is like one thing that's really worth discussing. Do you want to pair up 2 heroes, or do you want to pair up 2 players? As these players, are in a team, they play a lot with each other. It is very important for them to be able to coordinate with each other in terms of how they play the game, right? It's not just about, oh, I play Abrams and you play McGinnis, so you coordinate very well, I'll make a wall, you'll punch, right? It's also about, okay, how aggressive are we going to be? Are we going to focus more on denying? Are we going to focus more on poking? What are one thing or 2 things or 3 things that we do very well together? And so sometimes you just don't want, like, oh, the best combo possible as much as you want 2 people who can work very, very well together. And I mean, these guys are pretty good. There's very few characters that would get picked in this sort of format, like a competitive format, that are bad at laning. And these are pretty good combos. I mean, Paradox is just not a bad laner at all. Certainly not as strong as, let's say, a Mirage, but very powerful, especially if you can hit the combo very consistently.
Yeah.
They're doing our farm.
Good damage.
Okay, let's
keep the pressure.
Very weak.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we push.
give me control of the mouse.
Rounds and also start to chip.
I haven't used this like right now.
Yeah.
Do anything. Okay.
Okay, everything's sorted. Let them talk. So yeah, this is a new trend. A bunch of teams have been doing it for a couple of months now. Instead of talking on like a Discord or something, having voice chat enabled all the time, they just use in-game chat, which is interesting. I guess, I mean, you're gonna use a push-to-talk setup anyhow. So, anyhow. Let's continue talking about this game. So yeah, Bebop. Bebop is going to be a very interesting character to see after these nerfs. I think he's still a very, very powerful character overall. He does not have a single bomb stack yet. That's the first bomb stack he's getting. Very interesting, actually. But yeah, it's kind of hard to get bomb stacks without having Cook first. And especially against these competitive teams, they know that if a Bebop is rushing towards you, it's not for a hug, it's usually to kill you. So you better be careful. But yeah, bomb first and punch. It seems like a punch bob, bomb bop sort of build. So it's interesting to me. Gun Bop is just a much better version of Bomb Bop in a lot of ways, but Bomb Bop can still have a huge amount of damage, especially in early lane, right? Where it's going to be hard for you to get picks. And we do see already some picks happening there, here and there. still pretty equal so far. The question is, what is the first lane that is going to break? If I had to take a guess, it's probably going to be lane number 1. We do see that Yamato and the Talon have a little bit of an edge. We have seen several picks at this point of both the Geist and the Shiv, I think, have died at least once. And yeah, now that they have their ults, well, Yamato has already used her ult, but yeah, the ults just give so much power. And yeah, fighting Geist, well, she does not have ult yet, so this battle better finish quickly. Oh, she does parry there. That is enough, yes. Mistaken parry is enough to get a kill here, but that Yamato isn't just very weak. She could get shivved right now, and she does get shivved right now. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about Shiv. So Shiv is one of the most feast or famine heroes in the entirety of Deadlock, without like a shadow of a doubt. He is the sort of person who, when he's ahead, he's an unkillable machine, and when he's behind, he does almost nothing, right? But yeah, a core part of that is the rage mechanic. So Shiv, as you know, whenever he shoots, whenever he punches, whenever he gets punched, he gains a little bit of rage. And once that rage builds up, he gets special abilities on all of his normal skills. And that's incredibly, incredibly valuable, isn't it? But the big thing is that if you keep dying, if you're like a weak Shiv, if you're just like trading 1v1, you're also resetting your rage every single time you die. And that's like hard to gauge. I mean, you see it right here, right? Shiv has been fighting for a long time. The Decay is proccing the rage too. He still doesn't have full rage. It's, yeah, you have to balance out engaging with your opponent and also increasing your own rage. So yeah, if you're behind in any circumstance, it just makes it a little bit difficult. But on the other hand, Shiv really isn't a fantastic laner up until he gets ult. And once he gets that ult and rage, he just unlocks so much potential. One of the definite, like, oh yeah, like up to 3k you're not a powerful character, but after 3k you just do so much. So we'll see how this lane pans out. Anyhow, we see a very big push on lane number 2. Mo and Mirage have almost killed that Guardian. The big Talon ult though, and he stunned the Mo. The Mo is only 100 health. He has 5 seconds up till his heal. Is that going to be enough? Yeah, he gets healing right here. Like, this is one thing. This is a mark of very good players. They don't get as greedy. They respect their opponents. Normally, if you're Mo, you're like, oh, I have Mythic Burst. I have my heal. Why would I ever, under any circumstances, need a healing right? It's a waste of time and money, right, for a Mo, because you just heal so much. But this is respecting your opponents. This is like, yeah, I'm gonna need that health. The moment that they see me low, they're gonna rush me. Anyhow, and also enables you to be a bit more aggressive. A big combo coming in. The Divine Barrier is, however, blocking it, and that's not gonna be enough. That should be lane number 2. It is lane number 2 that falls first. The constant barrage of DMG. Ooh, going in, getting the parry. He does get afflicted, but there's probably not enough follow-up potential from that pocket. However, both the Mirage and the Mo are low. Maybe there is. But no. Mo backs out. His healing right should be available in seconds, and he's probably going to survive here. The Abrams is just hiding a little bit. Ooh, yeah, exactly what we were talking about. Swap into wall charge into a punch. And that Bebop is just in a precarious position right here. The ult is enabled. Strangely, no shot there. But yeah, the ult is enabled for the Abrams. He could have finished that Bebop if he so chose, but I guess the Bebop was just too far out. Anyhow, this is one of the things. Bebop, even with 2 stamina, is a very, very, very slippery character. He is able to bob and weave and hide, and by the time you think you've caught him, he just puts another 2 bombs on you and you die. This is something that's happened to me very commonly fighting against Bebops on ladder. It happens even in these top levels. Bebop is just a dangerous character. That's why he gets picked. Anyhow, oh, I saw a pick there from the Bebop. Pick into combo, and that's going to be enough to get that Dynamo down. And I mean, Dynamo is just a dangerous character, even at 5k. So there's here's how I think about the game. Maybe other people think very differently about the game, but I have a spectrum of soul characters and util characters, right? So the util characters, you think of stuff like Lash, the supports, Mo, like characters that even if they're like very behind, they can still have a lot of utility with their abilities. And there's characters like Wraith, Infernus. If they're behind, they just do no damage, right? So Yamato comes to mind, Shiv comes to mind. So yeah, there's this big spectrum. Having your Dynamo be at 5k, especially if it means that other characters are getting the farm that Dynamo was supposed to be getting, that is very important. That is paramount. Now, big swap coming in. There's another bomb. Yeah, a lot of damage on those bombs already. About 250. The Shiv is in a precarious position. He is not going to be able to get a kill there, though. And Boston has a little bit of a lead, despite losing that very first tower. Anyhow, the game seems to be all about lane number 3 right now. There's not 1, not 2, but 4 characters hunting there. The Vindicta is just trying to get that very last bit of pocket. She just throws. Oh my god! That was actually the incredible tether right there. You can see it very slow motion. I loved it. Yeah. It's always interesting to see how these chases go, especially with the Vindicta. These guys are seldom gonna miss shots. There's this very famous scene from The Simpsons where there's one character. There's like the jail character with a lot of tattoos, and he's like always in jail, and he's running around. He's in a car, and he throws a can out of the car, and it turns out like Lisa Simpson is with Bette Midler, and they're cleaning the highway, and Bette Midler sees him and starts chasing the car because he just threw a can out of it, and then Bette Midler throws the can massively towards him, and it hits him right in the head, and he goes, "Oh no, it's Bette Midler!" Yeah, that's the scene that I was thinking of when I saw that Vindicta just chucking their chucking that tether like a slow motion demise. Anyhow, Urn gets secured. Very simply, you secure the urn, and suddenly you get that Abrams back, and he just can do so much damage so quickly with those punches. He is in a bit of a weird position here, and he just dies. Yeah, that Vindicta is going to prove a very valuable asset. Well, it's true that the Talon ult has a lot more dimensionality. It can reach other lanes, and big fights are happening way outside of where the Talon currently is. That Vindicta just has so much power with her snipes, and she gets 3 of them. More if they get rapid recharge, but yeah. Right now, the Vindicta and co are just invading the space of Boston Tea Party. They're getting that farm, and it's just very valuable to do this. It seems like, oh, they're like you're getting 2 punch farms, but you're such at risk. No, because you get like 700 souls, I want to say, at this point, and that's 700 souls you're denying to your opponents, and also 3 times 2 golden idols. It's just very powerful. I mean, look, there's just no contest whatsoever. Despite being equal souls, Boston is not responding to this. I hope they're getting other objectives in the map. It does not seem like it. Anyhow, a whole bunch of farming happening, trying to get whatever farms available. Of course, it's just gonna come down to the fact that Boston really likes these large-scale confrontations. Using Affliction on the big camp? I don't think I've seen that. That's new tech. Or, I mean, I guess I've never played a game of Pocket in my life. I'm pretty sure I have not. But I've never seen Affliction on the big camp here. Very peculiar strat. Anyhow, Pocket has a lot of souls. I don't know what he's gonna buy with 2281 souls. That's not enough for a 3k item, but it's a little bit too much for 2k items. 1.25k items. Anyhow, we need to really figure out what the game plan is for Boston. They do have a little bit of edge. They've been better at farming, I guess. And a big fight is maybe brewing in Walker number 1 here. Yamato is thinking if she can engage or not. Do they see that Mo? I presume they do, so they just decide to back out. They have the Guardian. So, Guardians, you know, they don't have flex slots beyond the second Guardian. And, yeah, the flex slot has been secured for both. Ooh, a big fight. Let me finish that thought later. There's 3 people coming in, and that Mo especially. That Mo will be looking for something here, whether it be the pocket or the Yamato. It is the Yamato! The Yamato is in a precarious position. She does press 4, however. Is that enough to get a pick? Probably not. Yeah. Very well done. See, this is the problem with just pushing when there's no picks. And guess what team is better at getting picks? It's certainly not Boston. But, yeah, what was I saying? I'm sure I was saying something. But I have already forgotten it. I guess this game is just very dynamic. Oh, yeah, Guardians. Guardians, even after the flex slot has been earned from both teams, they're very powerful because they give you the ability to have one easily available, safe shop. Now, of course, the shop, where the Guardians are and where the secret shops are pretty close to each other, but having that extra safety of just an NPC, something that you don't have to, like, actively protect if there's, like, one minion coming in and trying to kill it, it's just so valuable. Yeah, just losing those, even if it's something that you expect in every equal game in this tournament, that all the Guardians are going to go down. Usually, yeah. The thing that I would say personally is that losing Guardians is part of the game. Losing Walkers is where you only lose them if you make mistakes, right? But losing Guardians is just part of the game. They're close by, you can easily poke them, they're just so near. Big earn fight happening right now. The Mo is coming in. He will be looking for a grab. Wonder what the big grab targets are right now. Well, certainly not that Dynamo would just die, but that Abrams, if they could pick that Abrams, that would be great. Yes. Or the Yamato. Yamato is another very good target right now. Yes, she does get picked and isolated and dead. You want to pick that item, so the Yamato ult makes you invulnerable. So you really, really want to combo right before that ult happens. If you combo after that ult happens, you'll get nothing. Because she is not invulnerable. She's unstoppable, right? Unstunnable, rather. Anyhow, two big picks coming in here. However, Boston does have the earn, and they are pushing. With what does Yellow have to counter push here? Not much, but I mean, this is what we're talking about. It's a question of who has the pick potential and who has the team fight potential. And once you have not 1, not 2, but 6 of these Boston folks here, especially the Dynamo ult ready, yeah. Quantum Entanglement is ready. The ult also ready. It is going to be very fun to see that Dynamo camera. He does use the Quantum Entanglement to secure the earn. Very, very smart technique. Dynamo is probably the second best earn securer in the whole game. Ooh, big ult coming in. 2 picks. Is there going to be a follow-up? Yes, there is. And 2 massive picks on the Bebop, on the Mirage. We keep seeing Boston win these team fights. It's just fantastic, isn't it?
Our blue walker is under attack.
But yeah. It's the mid time, it seems. Mid is kind of funky. So, we should discuss what does Amber have to oppose mid. And even overall, not much. The Mirage Tornado is the only noteworthy thing that they could use. However, yeah, the Abrams, the Dynamo, even the Affliction and Yamato. Well, Yamato is actually important, but even the Affliction could be used to oppose mid.
Ready to use item.
Regardless. We do see another pick, Yamato very deep. Yamato has become the priority target for Mo, which makes sense. We're at mid-game. We're very deep into mid-game. We have equal souls. This is worth talking about who has the souls on both teams. And we do see the Yamato, and that's very important. The Yamato having the souls on the blue team is incredibly important. You want your Yamato to be fed, because once she presses forward, especially if she has the refresher, she can deal just so much damage. She becomes the problem to deal with in any given team fight, right? So, of course, the Mo is focusing her a lot, because if she can be neutralized, the rest of the team does not have incredible strength, right? On the other hand, we do see a very equal spread on DMG, especially that Shiv. at 18k, and the ship would like to be a little bit more. Let's talk a little bit about build stuff. First, let's see what the Dynamo is building. Is it more of a Stomp type build, or is it more support? We do see some ult build with that Majestic Leap coming in. Like, they know what they're aiming for. But yeah, Warpstone, incredibly powerful tech, as Mo. You just always want to have that Warpstone. It enables you to quickly get out of places. You can use Warpstone while you're underground. You can use Warpstone to get closer to an enemy to combo. It's like a cheaper Phantom Strike. Also, Phantom Strike is so much better than Warpstone in so many ways. Anyhow, first Walker is gone, and there's a big push on Walker number 2 right now. And Walker number 3, this is total collapse. Sadly, they have to back from Walker number 1, but that is going to be 2 Walkers. Very well used rejuve here. Boston now has a very big advantage. Right? So, it's going to be very important to see who gets this urn, actually. The urn is deep in enemy territory. I like thinking about walkers as anchors for the urn. It's just kind of hard to push when there's walkers around and get that urn. But with both of the walkers gone, well, Boston can afford to easily push here. Very good pick on that Abrams. But yeah, this team fight is not proving fantastic so far. The guys does manage to swap herself out of problems, and there's 3 picks coming in. But however, Boston did get that urn, and that's like a big comeback mechanic that you don't want to miss. Oh, big parry, but not going to be enough. Jasper goes down here. So, you do still have Reju. You're able to push waves. Do we play next, or are you doing the other game? The next game is going to be... it's going to be the winner of this game versus melee creeps. I'm fairly certain. Unless there's like a timing issue. But can you ask in the Discord and see? Because I know BBL had some sub problems. So ask them if they want to be next game. If next game for them would work better, or... because otherwise I want to just run the tournament in the normal order, which is winner of this game versus melee creeps. So yeah, thank you, Yodi. But yeah, now you just spread around, get some farm. It's not going to be very... It's not going to be very noisy, so to speak, as both teams are just waiting for the next pick, for the next opportunity. Grab that farm, wait for the next one. But yeah, if you're DMG right now, you're a bit behind, but the big thing you're really for is a flex slot. Even just 1 walker going down would be more than enough here to cause a whole bunch of problems. Let me just remove my sweatshirt. Okay, folks, back to the game. It was getting a little bit hot. Turns out this whole observer interface on laptop takes a lot of RAM. You gotta download some more RAM. Anyhow, more WAM, sorry. Anyhow, yeah, Boston's doing a very good job of keeping the lane secure. They know very well that DMG's reeling for a walker right now, so they're looking for something. And we do see the team is very concentrated on the right side of the map. There could be a collapse here, and Yama is just going into that Mo. I don't know if that's the correct thing to do. She is very well surrounded. She does press that 4. That gives her a little bit of invulnerability. That means that she can be in a safe position for a little bit. She dives deeper, probably escapes, and yeah. Not a pick, but still, being able to delay Yamada, very valuable. Oh! Instead, Boston gets a counter pick. It seems that Yamada was very good bait after all. Hey, Ain, you don't have any problems? That's perfect, thank you. I'll be reading the chat more carefully. I know there's a bunch of people that made comments about Dota and whatever, but I cannot read the chat and cast the game at the same time unless it's for admin issues. Normally I have a person who helps me, but he's kind of busy right now. So, anyhow, let us continue monitoring this one. we do see Mo has grabbed somebody. Is that enough? Bebop does grab that Mo. Extracts it. Oh, that's a big hole. That's really big. That's at least 3 people, right? And that's a refresher into another ult. That's not going to be as much damage. But yeah, 2 picks. That could be enough to push base here. So yeah. It's just Boston keeps getting pick after pick after pick after pick. And we do see Boston is retreating. Do they know the mid timing? I do not personally know the mid timing, but maybe they do know the mid timing. Oh, another good tech there. If you didn't know, if you're in air and you press control twice, I want to say, you get to like ground pound essentially, right? Which is an incredibly valuable thing. And yeah, Boston just decides they're gonna grab that urn. Ooh, big punch coming in. Oh, that Mo is cursed as well. Or was that just a talent thingy? Oh, he does get a parry there. But yeah, that Mo should be dead here. Still, ooh, does get the combo. That's very funny. The Mo might escape. No, he does not. Alright, 2 picks here. You grab Urn, and you probably are able to force Patron. That's probably enough. However, that tether, the Abrams is dead. Very good tether. Vindicta has been one of the most important players for DMG here. So, yeah, very, very powerful stuff happening. Geist is very low. She does not manage to get her swap out. And now there's a big chase on that Mirage. He does not have anything to help him here, and he dies. 4 picks on 4 picks from Boston. It's probably going to be enough to get pick number 5 and number 6 too. Vindicta very low. She's backing out. That Pocket is chasing, even though he is low, very well within snipe range. But you just cannot afford to stay there. Using the momentum from that flight, the Vindicta just backs off. Anyhow, Boston decides that they're not going to push. They're going to grab Urn. I mean, at this point, you're 40k ahead. How many more souls do you need? It's just a question of denying Urn here. Nope, they're going for mid-boss instead. That's what was happening. We did see the mid-boss just spawn. Yeah, DMG doesn't have like a good anti-mid-boss tool, especially against like every single one of the characters of Boston has something that can be used in a pinch to help with mid-boss. Even the things that you don't think about, like, oh, what does Pocket have to stop? That Affliction can just be really powerful, because even if you get the rejuve, you have like a 5 Affliction, you just force the team to have to reset. You can get huge picks there, because mid-boss kind of makes you have to like huddle around one another. Anyhow, we do see Urn is secured right now. And yeah, will we see them push immediately? Like, do they even need a pick at this point? I guess they're just really afraid of stuff like Bebop and Mo. Why would you need a pick at this point? A swap happens! A swap happens! Bebop is out! Ooh, bad shift there, but that's not going to be punished at all. It is 1 pick, 2 pick, 3 picks. No, not 3 picks yet. Soto is very low, though. That Mo is in a precarious position. But yeah, is this the beginning of the end? We do see 2 picks. Of course, the tank always dies first, but much like a captain always sinks with the ship. And yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes. So yeah, Quantum Entanglement gives you fire rate and bullet, recharges your bullets. Very powerful tool if you want to secure Patron as quickly as possible. Will they leave or will they stay? It seems like they decided they're going to stay. They're not going to like even back out a little bit, wait for Abrams. They're just going straight for the picks here. Dynamo has empowered everybody. They're just going to bum rush mid. A lot of damage coming in. That Dynamo can do so much stun. And ladies and gentlemen, that is game number 1. Thank you, Bread Rollies. I do appreciate it. Okay. So what was I saying? This is like one of the things that is a good idea to do. Pairing a character that has a good early game gun with one that has a bad early game gun. Now, of course, some characters like Warden, right, have a gun that does a lot of damage, but it's a slow projectile. It is not going to do very well in denying as compared to, like, say, an Ivy gun or a Calico gun, right? So what happens is that you want to pair one character who can very easily deny with one who cannot. So you can have one person focus on just, you know, shooting and one person focus on just collecting assaults. Alternatively, you might want two people with very good guns in the same lane, right? But you don't want a situation where there's two people with bad guns. Like, for example, Sinclair and a Warden. Or a Mo and a Lash or something like that, right? You want to balance those out. Anyhow, let's talk a little bit about lanes. So we do have Mo with a Yamato. It makes sense. Yamato can burst out a lot of damage pretty quickly. Yamato is also one of the few characters in the game that can, after she gets ult, of course, can walk into your Guardian by pressing 4 and just hunt you down. There are a few characters that can do that. Mo can do that by burrowing and using Mythic Burst for heals. But one thing I do have to remark is that both of them have somewhat bad guns for denying. When I say somewhat bad guns, at least certainly worse than an Ivy and a Pocket. And we have already seen the clink of the denies happen several times here. Ivy has a very fast gun, very good projectiles. And Pocket has a shotgun, which is a lot of poke potential, but we do see the Pocket's a little bit low, a bit greedy, I would say. Anyhow, but yeah, we do already see the Ivy and Call. A pick happening already, though. Saya has managed to get a good pick here. Holiday is coming back to the front lines right now. And yeah, just look at the power of that talent. An incredible early game. Even when he doesn't have those powerful charged shots as he used to, he can just fly around and keep shooting headshot after headshot after headshot after headshot. So yeah, very, very powerful character. He does use that healing right. Well, he's given a healing right by his comrade in arms. Regardless, we are seeing now... Do we only see one team speak? I think we only see one team speak at a time. So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about where we expect the ult power spikes. Ult power spikes, Shiv has a big ult power spike. Geist becomes dangerous. Talon becomes really dangerous. Paradox is good also because these guys are not going to miss their swaps, and it's very, very important to have an ult that just very quickly respawns itself, right? Anyhow, Melee Creeps already has a little bit of a dominating lead. Not one, not two, but 4 whole K souls here. Yeah, that's going to be very valuable. We do see pick after pick after pick. And, yeah, but we've seen it happen time and time again. Not just in Glutensnake Den events, but in ladder, in one-trick championship. Getting an early game lead, even if your team is in theory better at late game, can be very devastating. You're just not going to be able to get at a late game in the terms that you want the late game to happen to. Raid does miss her teleport, and that's 2 big picks. Melee Creeps is proving to be a very powerful force at lane here. It is almost minute 5, and this is usually around the time where you can really, really start pressing Guardians. You start having all the items that you need. You have your monster rounds, you have your damage, you have your ults even. You can easily go in and do something here. But yeah, that I think was the first pick. Yeah, the first pick from Boston Tea Party. Pick on the guys. It's always funky to see guys being played because whenever she's low health, she's secretly full health, but you just don't know it yet. But because of her ult. But the way that it works is the ult has to swap on somebody, right? So you really, really have to get close. And these top players know that when a Geist is approaching you, it's not there to hug you or cuddle you, it is there to kill you. So, yeah, we're gonna see how this one pans out. We're gonna see how this one pans out.
Help me kill Shiv.
Help me kill Shiv. Shiv is, yeah, a very hard character to kill overall, especially when he's a little bit fed. He is ahead in this lane, and that double dash. So for people who don't know, Shiv has his dash. Everybody knows Shiv's dash, but when he has full rage, that dash creates an after image that does an equal amount of damage. So like one of the best ways in the game to get double damage out of your abilities. There's even a famous build called Dash God Shiv, which is just focusing on the dash. When you max it out, the dash gets -1 second to its cooldown for every single entity, or is it player or entity? I do not remember that it touches. Oh yeah, it is 2 seconds for enemy hero and 1 second for non-hero. Max -6 seconds to dash with increased cooldown. It just becomes such a powerful ability. Yeah, dash is very core for any character until you have enough items to make your daggers be incredibly powerful. But I mean, look at that. This is what I refer to as a Shiv thing. You are full health, a Shiv approaches you, he presses 1, he presses 2, he presses 1, he presses 4. He doesn't even have to shoot a shotgun, which does a lot of damage. He just does that sequence of events and you die. Yeah, it's amazing to see Shiv things happen. But yeah, Melee Creeps already has a very dominating lead right now. Almost 15k at 7 minutes. Very, very powerful. But yeah, early game advantage though is a little bit overrated in some ways because you can always fight next to walkers. It takes at least a couple of minutes, still minute 15, before you can really damage walkers. Because there are people who don't know, walkers have bullet resist and spirit resist to players up until minute 15, I want to say. So yeah, big pick coming in. She does get a stone form, and suddenly Wick is down. But yeah, is this damage unsurmountable? Maybe. It is kind of rough to be double your souls, to be half the souls of your opponent 7 minutes in. It's getting there. It's getting there. Yeah, especially as 8 minutes happens, and usually the way back into like a small soul deficit is the punch farms. The punch farms spawn at 8 minutes. If you're like 3k, 4k behind, you get all of those punch farms very efficiently. You even steal one of your opponent's ones, and suddenly you're back on track. However, if you're this behind, it becomes a little bit more difficult for you to be able to secure those punch farms, right? You want to be in a position where you're easily securing all punch farms. You want to be in a position where you can be allowed to farm. You don't want to be in a position where you are forced... Yeah, you're forced to use your ult to be able to farm. As Yoi dies here. He's farming on his side, but yeah. The punch farms are going to be taken right now. Prep is happening to get ready for that 10-15 minute mark. Getting that first urn in as well. Now, there has been some urn changes. People in the channel know that I'm an urn aficionado. I think urn is fantastic. I think urn is a great mechanic. Everybody in the game disagrees with it except me, but I do love urns and double jumping and that sort of thing. Now, before, it used to be the case that urn is always the first urn is always a center urn, even if you're like 50k ahead. To the extent that you could be 50k ahead, maybe you can. But yeah, the first urn is always going to be a mid urn. No more. Now the deficit has to be 15% instead of the usual 10%, but a 15% urn deficit has definitely been reached here, and Boston can more safely secure that urn. Will Melee Creeps be willing to contest, or will they just wait at the urn and see if they can get pick after pick after pick after pick? Anyhow, big fight happening in Last Guardian. It's very important that Melee Creeps gets sorry, that Boston protects this one, but it's not gonna happen. A very big hit coming in from Pocket and Lomain. We do see that Mo also gets hunted all the way to base here, and yeah, very scary stuff. Urn spawns right now. Bridge buffs are getting grabbed, and presumably Urn too, just to force one last big fight, and that's gonna be enough space for you to push those walkers. 30k soul difference is a lot, unfortunately. Plus 10 for one bird? Yeah, that was a very powerful bird. But yeah, it's usually I try to be very chipper and happy and be like, oh yeah, 10k soul difference. And certainly a 10k, 20k soul difference is surmountable. And even a 27k soul difference. I have definitely been in games where 27k soul difference has been surmounted. It has been later in the game, though, not this early, and certainly not against opponents of the caliber of melee creeps. Well, but we'll see what happens here. We do have to say, we do see the Ivy approaching here with the urn. Ivy has interesting build coming in here with a rapid recharge and the decay. I kind of like this. I'm vibing with this build. But yeah, just for the quick farming, I do like this build. I'm an Ivy main. I'm always looking at Spirit Ivy type builds with a very early rapid recharge, and so yeah, very good build to know. I do have a build, by the way. It's called Gluten Spirit Ivy V2 or V3, something like that. You should go and check it out if you want to be as good as I am, which is not very good. Ooh, big parry coming in! And yeah, it's starting to get a little bit insurmountable here. Walker number 1 is going to go down. Walker number 2 is likely going to go down. And I mean, this is the stage in the game where there's like not a single person, like maybe like Ivy versus Yamato if she presses ult, but everybody else in the melee creeps team is probably going to be able to take 1v1s easily. Like even if you're like a Shiv of the Paradox, you're going to be able to 1v1 any character in the opponent's team. But even Ivy will likely. So it just becomes very difficult to be on the map. And if you're not allowed to be on the map against anyone, you kind of have to be huddled up, and huddled up is not an effective way to farm. You kind of want to spread out. You want to grab as much farm, as much boxes as you can, just to have an opportunity to, you know, get ready. But yeah, very, very difficult stuff.
I see Ivy.
We will see how this game pans out. We do see already a little bit of a push happening on lane number 3. Ivy is being very bold here, chasing, flying, presumably. So yeah, let's look at this Ivy.
You can't hurt me.
Yeah, Ivy now is able to 1v1. She does get picked, but yeah, Shiv is going to be right there to protect her. Big swap happening in under Walker. That's not going to be enough to save Saya. But, yeah, still manages to get a big kill. Yeah, Walker number 2 is going to be pushed. Pocket is already pushing Walker number 3. The Pocket at 18k will probably beat the Yamato at 10k, so I think the Pocket has free reign here. Especially because the Pocket has Affliction already, which is very damaging if you're low health. Like the Yamato would be, because she doesn't have enough items. And yeah, Heroic Aura has been picked full support here by Quake, which makes perfect sense. Anyhow, another pick happening here, and there's only one Walker left. Do you force mid here? So, I was about to say, on one hand, the Yamato ult is scary, but suddenly no longer a factor if you're able to quickly get something in 20 seconds. And they decided to opt for getting Walker number 3 instead. Getting those map objectives is just maybe a little bit smarter. I mean, the goal of getting mid is to make it easier for you to get those map objectives. Anyhow, what is the game plan here? You're 50k ahead this early in the game. You have enough items. You can steal a farm. Do you just rush base and win here? Is that what you do? We see the communications have very much died down. I think they all just know what they're meant to be doing. Yeah, not much I can comment here. I think it's going to be a pretty safe mid. The Yamato is a little bit scary with her Unstoppable, but remember, you can parry Yamato. It's not like you cannot parry Yamato. And they might even just out-damage her. Yeah, that is going to be 2 big picks and 3 big picks. Ninja Pro getting picked as well. 5. Oh, Magic Man does manage to escape, though. Lives to tell a tale. Oh, he does get spotted by Shiv. Shiv is fully enraged. He is fast when he's enraged, I think. And, yeah. Sinclair kind of gave up. It's a very precarious position for Boston. They know it very well. 50k ahead. Seems like Melee Creeps will likely be our first finalist. It will be a very tremendous... Yeah, respawn timers that look like Rejo respawn timers. So true. Yeah, why even get that Rejo? You're getting like 10 seconds on the respawn. Regardless. I do have to say, I think it's kind of... Yeah, it's kind of a lost cause right here. You could do something in style, though. I can see a nice old steel, especially with that pocket, being able to do a lot of damage. But yeah, you're not even able to contest Patron. Maybe you're able to contest Weakened Patron here. But yeah, pocket signaling, he has Majestic Leap. He knows he can afflict everyone. It's going to be difficult to leave out a bait. Ooh, big pick on the guys! Mo, counter pick maybe. Oh no, the Wraith comes in instead. And the guy survives. The guy gets out of the way. Base, and there's not one, not two, not three, not four, 5 whole picks inside. That is incredible. And that's going to be game. GG. That's it for game number 2. Hello everybody, thank you so much. Do not forget to follow us. Don't forget to join our Discord. Don't forget to check out our YouTube. Can somebody in the chat put all of the commands? You put the house on BBL? Well, that's good. You should have faith in BBL. Okay, let's see what the lanes are. So, on the BBL side, we do have Kelvin and... who else is it? It's Kelvin and Wraith. That's interesting. I mean, it makes a lot of sense in some ways, because you want to catch people exposed, and Wraith can just dish out so much damage. For people who don't know how Wraith works, Wraith has a very unique ability. So her cards, you've probably seen the cards if you play against her. What you might not be aware is how they work. So most abilities in the game recharge with time. Wraiths recharge with how many bullets you shoot. If you shoot something and it hits, you get cards. So it's a very good idea to match a Kelvin with a Wraith, because a Kelvin can freeze somebody in place, allowing very easy time for Wraith shooting it. Right? So we really think that it's going to be funky to see this Wraith combo. But yeah, look at that. Look at that hook. But yeah, I think it is John. Yeah, John on Bebop. It's not low bait on Bebop. Somebody in chat lied to us and said low bait will be on Bebop. That is unfortunate. We are seeing John on Bebop instead. Anyhow, lane number 2. Let's look at lane number 2. Well, let's say number 3. We'll take that too. Oh, lane number 2. So we have a Talon, and who else do we have? A Talon and a Warden. Now that's kind of funky. I mean, if you do trap someone, there are very few characters in the game that can output as much damage as quickly as a Talon can. So it makes sense if you cast somebody in a trap. Both of them have somewhat slow bullets, which, but I guess they're against a Holiday and a Yamato, so it's not going to matter too much. However, we do see the Talon already pretty low. For people who don't know, Holiday has that crack shot ability, which enables her to do a lot of damage if she gets a headshot. A lot more so than regular. And if you're at 180, well, 200 health now. 250. Oh, it keeps going up. Okay, probably safe now. But yeah, still, very powerful ability. All right, let's go to lane number 3, where we do see the Abrams and the Pocket together. So, I mean, I guess you trap somebody and then the Pocket can use a lot of bursts. They do also have good shotguns, which is good for denies. And when we see who they're against, we do see Geist and we do see Viscous, and neither of those characters is fantastic at denying. Geist's gun is fairly fast, but it's not a shotgun type gun. So you're going to be a lot less accurate at stealing, at denying than the Pocket is. And Viscous, on the other hand, very slow gun. So we might see some interesting things happen there. And if I look at their soul difference, we do see that the Abrams is a little bit ahead already. Very funky stuff. Oh, very big grab there. This managed to heal a lot of the damage inflicted on him, and he bruises them pretty well. However, the cube is going to prove to be so powerful, and then lifesteal, of course, one of the strongest abilities in the game. So yeah, it's an incredibly powerful ability, especially early on. You do just so much damage, you heal for it, and perfect parries. This is like one thing because we talk about abilities, right? Like, let's talk about Paradox. Paradox has notoriously one of the most difficult combos in the game to execute. If you want to execute it full, you have to kinetic blast your opponent. You have to put a wall in. You have to ult him through the wall, and then you have to launch a grenade on the other side of the wall. And you probably want to outfire before you do all of that. Michael S., one of the best players in the game, no doubt, is a top player in part because he can do that combo so well. But at this level, at the E6 level, which all these guys are all Eternuses, these guys are all top players, you can do that combo so consistently and so well that the character is kind of balanced around it, right? So yeah, like for example, it is assumed that at E6 level, the Paradox combo will always be fully done, or at least have like a 95+% success rate. And the reason why I'm doing all this spiel is, of course, because I'm talking about the Viscous. So for people who don't know, you can parry the Viscous punches. It takes timing because it takes a lot of practice, but at this level, people are very consistently getting their Viscous punches parried. And Viscous is still a freaking fantastic character. Can you imagine this? Like one of the top characters of the game, even though you can like deny one of his mechanics. Ooh, big grab coming in from John. He is forced to use that Kelvin Dome. He does not trap the debuff in it, sadly. It's just a healing dome for now. But yeah, trading your 1 or 2 or 3 for a 4, always a worthwhile trade. A lot of characters have mechanics like that. I'm a McGinnis main. I have been many times on the other side of a wall while the Wraith tried to ult me. That sort of thing. John just grabs another one. We should just be watching John's perspective on repeat. For people to know, John, one of the top, one of the best players. No, I mean, all these are the best players. But notably, one of the best bebops in the game. He's very accurate. People are actively afraid of his bebop. I keep seeing him get parried. Get denied in drafts. So, very, very important stuff here. We do see a big push hopping in on lane number 1. I would not have expected the Kelvin Bebop lane, but I guess that just goes to show how powerful Bebop is in early lane. He's just really, really strong. But yeah, I would not have expected that to be the first lane to fully collapse. And yeah, healing right happening, playing it safe. We do see a very smart barrier coming in. Enchanter's Barrier is very powerful. You love it against the Holiday. You love it against the Yamato. Both characters have a lot of burst spirit damage. Very, very important abilities to have. We do see a Talon Lunge. Will they get a pick here? So the most natural pick. He's not finding anything. I think the Warden's pretty well hidden, and so is the Holiday is very well hidden. But yeah, lane number 1 has collapsed. A very hard fought lane though. A very hard fought lane. Not like a complete collapse here. We do however see a little bit of a soul difference already developed. 5k, very meaningful, but not destructively so. So a big Abrams Soul is happening in. Is that going to be enough to cause damage on the Geist? That Geist is low, and she has her ult. And the Abrams realizes that backs immediately. You don't want to be on the other side of that swamp, do ya? Man, I miss PUBG. Does PUBG not exist still? I thought it existed. I'm pretty sure it exists. Is it not big anymore, I guess? Whatever. Yeah, we do see the full comms coming in from the blue side. Everybody's using in-game chat. So yeah, punch boxes are out. That'll lead to a little bit of a lull in the game for the most part. No, not on lane number 2, where we do see a very big pick on that Holiday. Yeager goes down, and yeah, another big pick on the Yamato too. Kelvin is here to counteract, but it's gonna be tough for him to fight the 1v3, even if he does have that ult, and he does not have that ult. Kelvin gets chased to death. And yeah, that's 3 people pushing in. Guardian is done. And yeah, it's a very big early lead coming in from melee creeps. Very well done to them. So yeah, like it's kind of hard to. We've discussed this a whole bunch of times. I have to say it every 5 minutes. at the beginning of every game, but the game is very momentum driven, especially if you're in a good team. Having that early game momentum matters so much. It matters to the sort of picks you can do. It matters the sort of damage you're allowed to deal. It matters the sort of like map power that you have. But yeah, the way that you come back is pick after pick after pick after pick. People who are out of position. That Viscus is not in a great position right now. The Dynamo does have a lot of health already. He can probably resist most of what this Abrams can do. And they're just exchanging shots here. Oh, Geist is coming in. That's going to be big. Does the Dynamo have ult? The Dynamo does have ult. Decay on him. Decay is a very good tech against characters like Dynamo. Sorry, again, like Abrams, like Mo and Krill. Here's that heal a lot. Ooh, he gets stunned! That's a very big stun, though! That, he tried to back off. He tried to use that for speed. A lot of top players, and even like Phantom Oracle players will use the zip lines for extra mobility. You get, I think, 2 seconds of mobility of like no friction air movement if you use the zip line. So it's a very, very valuable tech. But yeah, we do see BBL. Very interesting to see how this develops. We do see a big push on lane number 3. Yamano is there to halt it, and the urn has spawned. Will there be a big pick from the urn right now? They opt for the Warden to pick the urn. Okay, that's funky. When I'm looking at the team comp, like what I think of urn pickers here, I think of Geist, I think of Viscus. I do not think of Warden. Warden is just a very valuable character. But yeah, that's probably going to be a very safe urn. There's only one Abrams, and he's fighting a 1v3, 1v4 at this point. It seems like BBL has decided to give up urn, and instead they're opting to get that Guardian. And maybe, hopefully, a flex slot here. But sadly, no. That's just the first of 3 Guardians. Anyhow, we do have to see... You have to see how this pans out. Exchanging a Guardian for urn is not a good trade if that wasn't obvious. It's like the sort of trade you have to take, right? It's not like that, especially if it means the Abrams also die. Now, we do see that the people who have the most souls on melee creeps are exactly the characters you don't want to have the most souls. It is that Bebop, and it is that Warden. Warden especially has more souls than anyone in the opponent's team. That's going to make his ults very painful in these team fight sort of situations. And if you can get a Dynamo ult, you can get a Warden ult right after that. Oof, that is going to be really, really powerful. So, yeah, it's a bit of a precarious situation for BBL. It's just a little bit dangerous, the whole thing.
Let's take out Abrams.
What was I saying? Yeah. Talon is now looking for that Yamato. Yeah, okay. Does damage. His shooting 314 damage, one of those already. Does not have rapid recharge yet. He does get Wraith ulted. He can back up to the Guardian, so there's already a lot of support coming in. Bebop, Dynamo. It seems like a big battle is brewing in right now. Wraith v Dynamo, usually a Wraith favorite matchup. Yes, the Dynamo can use Quantum Entanglement. But he has a very big body. It's easy for the Wraith to keep getting card after card after card after card. So, yeah. Regardless, with the Yamato pick, it's gonna be a push of the Walker here, it seems. And yeah, Jester also goes down. And that's probably gonna be enough advantage for you to be able to push Walker, or no. Afraid of the Kelvin. Always be afraid of the Kelvin. Even the Kelvin that's behind, those ice beams are just terrifying. But going back to farming, I think the stuff happening on lane number 3, that's where action's happening. We do see that Viscus come in. Is going to be a steal of the farm. Yeah, like when you're ahead, but it's not 15 minutes yet, it's not 20 minutes yet. When you cannot be confident you can push the walkers, just steal a farm. Just do a little bit of damage, a little bit of bruising. After all, that's how you get ahead, right? You do bruising after bruising after bruising after bruising. Like, there's going to be very few games where you're going to see, like, a knockout punch, you know, in the first 5 minutes, right? most like top tier games, and these guys are top tier players, is punch after punch, round after round after round, and then comes the one punch that you're not strong enough to face. It's never like a hidden punch, it's just a battle of attrition. So that is the boxing allegory. For a person who legitimately has never seen a full game of boxing in his entire life. Boxing allegories are coming. Anyhow, I do have to say, the positioning is kind of bad for that Abrams. He's a bit exposed there. He does get, yeah, exactly. He does get a little bit out of position, and that talent is going to be enough to secure a win. Anyhow, what was I saying? Ooh, very bold from the Dynamo. Dynamo uses that ability so he can... I did not know you could stun... You could stun the Walker as Dynamo? Is this part of the new set of bugs where you can apparently stun Yamato while she's ulting and such? Very, very powerful. Yeah, stunning the Walker. I don't think I'd seen that. Other than Kelvin, of course, but that goes without saying. Okay, I have been informed by my observer, who is a lot higher ranked than I am, that you've always been able to do that. That's what I get for never playing Dynamo, and always playing in lower ranks. So that's not true. I play with E6s all the time. That's only because matchmaking is broken. But I like playing with E6s all the time because I'm going to recruit them for various events in the Glutensnake cinematic universe. Yeah, it's really fun. So, it's good. Okay, not much to say here. A big push coming in for that urn. That's probably going to be like the last big fight up till mid-boss. Get that urn. You have 2 picks coming in here, and that's probably going to be mid too. Well, yeah, 3 picks. Yeah, that's mid. That's mid. That's all walkers and mid right here, guaranteed.
It's like walking.
Is that Abrams going to make it out? Probably not. Oh, I do see it again. Apparently, like, oh, interesting. You can stun the walker whenever he's about to stomp. That's actually fantastic. Oh, pick the warden though. The walker is dead, but so might... Ah. Very nice light punch just to finish everything up. Nice parry avoidance there by the Viscus. But the Wraith is going to be out, and 3 walkers are picked. Are they going to go mid here? They do have the right to go mid. Kelvin is a little bit scary though, out of all the mid pickers there. But, I mean, you do have Bebop, you do have Dynamo. Well, not Dynamo yet. Is this a good mid? Maybe it's not. It seems like Melee Creeps thinks it's not, at least. They're just hovering around, stealing farm, expanding, yeah. Well, I'm learning something every day. I know that people in this chat have grown to think me as, like, the wisest person in the world, but it seems like there are things I don't know. Alright, mid is being done. Mid is being done. Is there going to be a counter? Nope, no one's even close to in position. They're just going to grab it. Talon Spirit Snare is going to be enough. But, yeah. Now, when you're this behind, when you are facing a Reju, you kind of have to play in base. You cannot afford to be outside of base. Like, I mean, this pocket... Oh, wow, this pocket just decides to play mind games, delay the guys however he can. But no, it's just you cannot afford to be outside of base. It's just very dangerous. Yeah, precisely why you can't afford to be out of base. If you're out of position, you die, and there's like, oh, very big ult coming in though! That's 3 picks! Now, never let a good Dynamo go to waste, these guys. That is the power of Melee Creeps, one of the top teams in NA, and certainly looking like very close to being the winners of game number 1. So yeah, it's just when you're on the wrong side of Reju, if you die, if you're out of position, it takes like 40 seconds for you to revive yourself. On the other hand, if they die, if you get a pick, if you're like, I'm gonna get a pick here, I'm so good at this game, right? That's fine because they still revive them. Even if you trade, they still only get 20 seconds of downtime and you get 40. It's not very smart to be out of base when you're playing against Riju. You just kind of have to give out the patron. And now, will they dive into pit here? Yes, it seems like yes. A big Dynamo coming in. That's going to be 3 picks, and that's probably going to be game right here, right now. Kelvin comes in, last second delays. But, yeah, not going to matter too much. Yamato comes in, tries to do something. Probably enough damage here, too. GG. But, yeah, it's gonna be funky. Game number 2, best of 3 finals. Last chance for BBL to prove that they are the best team in NA. Yeah, we're gonna see how this one pans out. We didn't have a lot of time to discuss the draft, but we will be discussing it more closely. We do see the Warden picked several times at this point. I don't recall, did Warden get a buff in the patch, or is it just like, oh, everybody else got nerfed, so Warden comes back? Or is it like an interesting pick just to check him? I do see this very frequently happen after patches, where a character gets nerfed, and then immediately everybody stops playing him, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, people play him and they're like, well, this guy is actually still fine. It's not that bad. So, he got buffed. Warden got buffed. Okay, that makes sense. I did always think that... Oh, John on Warden. I did always think, could be very wrong, that Warden was essentially a weaker Yamato. Oh! Missing that parry. He does smash it back. Very low. Double jump, not enough. Ivy's also in a precarious position. And suddenly 2 picks on lane number 1. That was the funky lane to watch. Alright, let's head over to lane number 2. While the Guardian gets destroyed. So we do see the Shiv and Vin. Shiv can do a lot of damage, both in terms of poking damage with the knives, but also the dash damage. And you just want to back out. You want to get out of the way, but suddenly the snipes and the Shiv ult are just going to kill you. So very good finishing abilities from both of them. The question is, how are you going to get to there? I guess you're just... Oh, very big tether coming in. Holly very low. Big exchange. A light punch, not gonna miss. And that's not gonna be enough. Is Yamato gonna be able to do any poking more? Nope. Just backs out. Or no, she's fighting. She does manage to get the Shiv. The Shiv overextends there. Very big trade. Very big trade.
Need some elevation.
But, yeah. Lane number 3. Lane number 3. Abrams and Pocket again. We've seen this combo before, I'm pretty sure, in this very tournament. Mirage and Goo is a bit more interesting to me. They both have incredible poke potential. Those slimes, those scarabs are just so much poke coming in out of the Mirage and Viscous. It is a very, very good... it's a very good amount of damage and poke. Now, your soft target is Pocket in this thing. Like, you poke the Abrams, it doesn't matter. He's just going to heal it all back, right? But the Pocket is always in danger. And the big reason why the Pocket's always in danger is, of course, Pocket is one of the few, maybe the only character in the game that has negative resists starting. So he has a negative 15% spirit resist. And when you have those goo balls coming towards you, it's just so much damage if you're a Pocket. Boss lock! You know, I do like pause lock. Yeah, not much to talk about here. We do see that Neil Creeps does have a little bit of a lead, especially on lane number 1, where we do see that Paradox and Warden are just doing good work. So, yeah. Ooh. What have been for everybody in the chat? Are you excited by these patches? I've had at least 2 different people tell me when I've tried to recruit them for One Trick Championship that they've uninstalled the game, which is a very sad thing to see. I don't know. I'm really hoping that a big patch comes in soon with a couple new heroes, a big like meta shaking thing. Not that the new map wasn't that thing. Just I would like for the game to be more open, more players, more fun. So yeah. Anyhow, let's get back to this game. We have the warden come back in. Crashes are just a part of the game at this point. Nature of closed alphas. Not saying that the game needs to like release tomorrow. It's obvious that there's a lot more work. There's constant crashes and such. But it's like nice to have like something to look forward to. And I'm sure Yoshi and Co will deliver. Especially because it's Valve. But yeah. But yeah, the lane number 1 is proving to be a bit precarious. Not to say anything. Like Ivy is a bit of a problem in early lane. I mean Ivy a lot. Ivy is definitely one of the weaker laners out there. She has very good deny capabilities, but she does not have good push capabilities. And it's kind of hard to poke a Paradox when she has that wall. It's kind of hard to exchange with the Warden when his gun hurts so much even with no items. You kind of have to play passively, and that's maybe not ideal. Right? Especially when you have a character who can just press 3 and there's problems coming. Press 4 and there's problems coming your way. But yeah, Abrams is... As I said, poking the Abrams does not work. He just slowly and consistently keeps healing. And that's very, very, very common. Right? On the other hand, we do see another pick on that Yamato coming in. And the Holiday, of course, can be hovering as much as she wants. We do see it very low! Very low. No. Divine Barrier gonna save that ship and force the trade. This is like the big power of Divine Barrier. This is why it keeps getting nerfed time after time again. You just, if you're low, you press that button and suddenly you can win an engagement you're not supposed to win, right? If there was no armor there, Holiday would have at the very least traded. But, yeah. Yeah, Quig and the Mirage are pushing here. Big push is happening on all 3 lanes. Ivy is notable for being very good at like resisting these pushes with the Kudzu, with the with her Lasher's Covenant, and the flight ability is also really good. She is trying to fly the Geist somewhere, just for like a nice lifesteal. I don't know, I much prefer driving solo. You do get a little bit of weapon resist when you do something like that. Maybe it was an extraction. I don't think we saw it. It is always fun to see. The first Guardian is lost. Very big denies. I think that was a triple deny by the Ivy. Very good aim.
It's like gardening, but violent.
So yeah. It's not like the worst loss thing, but yeah, it's I see the big soul difference, almost 2k. That's going to be very significant especially because it's on the war. Anyhow, Paradox coming in, doing a bunch of damage to the Guardian. I don't know how much more you can resist here, especially in a 1v3 type of situation without any more help. I think Guardian number 2 is going to go down. That's going to be into next time. Losing 2 guards before the 8 minutes mark, not a great position to be in as BBL. You are always... Yeah, you're always looking for something to happen. You're always looking for something to happen at the 8-minute mark, so... Ooh, yeah. The Paradox, actually, the Paradox and Warden makes a lot of sense to me now, because you can use the kinetic barrage, or whatever it's called, to... Sorry, you can use it to delay for the Warden hook, the binding word. So, not a bad combo, not a bad combo at all. Not a bad combo at all. We do see a very low pocket, I want to say. He's trying to get out. Very, like, pockets tend to have a lot of flexibility, but clearly not enough. Quig and Co. Yeah. Big pick on Quake. Yeah, it's proving to be a very difficult early game. I think this is like a thing that we saw with Hydra Nation. Hydronation's scariest bit wasn't there like late game or something. Not to say that it wasn't very powerful. It was the early game. I kept seeing whenever I would see Hydronation matches, I would see very constantly that they would be on equal souls, but their opponents would be like poked out at like a third of their HP. On the other hand, Hydronation was at full health. And we see this with Melee Creeps as well. They've just become so good at these early lane engagements. Big fights in late game do not matter at all if you cannot win these early game engagements and snowball from there. And I mean, a 14k difference in souls already this early in the game. Very, very powerful. Pocket's coming in. He does have Infuser. Keep talking about Infuser being incredibly strong. Yamato is chasing that Mirage, but it's got to be very difficult with a Guardian being here. He does manage to dodge that Abrams charge, and 3 people after that Mirage, and they cannot kill him. He goes on top. That's not going to be enough. Finally gets picked. But I mean, it's a waste of resources in a way, right? Like, if you have so many people chasing after one character, they're not pushing on other lanes, and we do see another counter pick immediately happens on that Ivy. Not great stuff, not great stuff. Okay. So, we do see the Abrams gets chased all the way to the teleporter. Will he take the teleporter out? Probably should have. A bit greedy not to take that teleporter out. He just decides to buy it, and he's going to move in the normal way. A little bit stuck. Yep, no chase. Okay, never mind. He's not greedy. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. I do like seeing a little bit of greed. When you're behind, you're not in a good position. You kind of have to be greedy more often because you're already not in a good position. You're 17k souls behind. Be greedy, see if something happens. If you get punished, it's fine. You're already down so much. Don't have to take the safe route out because there's no way to make a comeback if you keep doing it. Anyhow, yeah. Yamatos have been very suppressive. But yeah, having Yamato and Shiv in the same team, very, very big finishing power here. And the bruising that will come from stuff like the Warden, bruising that will come from stuff like Paradox, bruising that will come from, you know, Shiv and Vindicta themselves, right? It's just going to be very powerful. Abrams comes in. Urn is being forced. It is the first urn of the game. No contest, no push. They're trying to aim to get at least one of the Guardians to get that flex slot. It's not going to be enough. Big chase coming in into the Mirage. Is that enough damage? Yeah, Yamato probably gets that Mirage. It is a little bit of overextension, but there's no one to punish him. Guardian number 1 will be secured. Will it be traded for a Walker, though? That's like the worst thing to trade a Guardian for. Shiv is very low. He might die to Walker. He just dies to Walker. But yeah, Walker number 3 is the one that's at most danger here. He does get a very nice punch at Abrams. But yeah, Quick is probably dead here. He does get afflicted, I want to say. But the Abrams is just gets parried right out of the air. Oh, parry, 2 parries on the Abrams. I mean, this is what we were talking. We were discussing how nobody plays Lifestrike, and you're like, wait, every punch build in the game play Lifestrike? I'm like, yeah, but there's no punch builds in the game because these players are so freaking good at parry. They get parry after parry after parry. But yeah, Ivy is in a little bit of a low position. She does manage to dodge that ult. Very, very good. Stoneform does manage to secure her way out. She is decayed and slightly hurt, but it's not going to be a bad situation. Okay. So is this going to be enough push to get Walker number 3 here? Likely. I mean, you just stuck a knife or 2 there. Oh, he's not going for the Walker. He's going straight for that Holiday. The Holiday is dead. The Pocket comes in, though, contesting the Shiv. The Shiv does have his ult. It's very dangerous to be low health against a Shiv like this, especially if you do not have something like Suitcase to protect you. And yeah, the Shiv is... Yeah, like, this is the problem. They keep fighting this. It's just so hard to fight against the fed Shiv. I'm not saying the Shiv is like particularly fed, but he's 13k at 13 minutes. He's keeping well above parity when the other team is so below. and you're just going to be able to take so much damage. And with that goes the Walker, and 22k soul difference. Very, very bad stuff coming in. BBL is not looking great here. So, Walker number 2 and Walker number 1 being challenged right now. The Yama is by herself. She's going to be chased to the depths of the earth. She does not have that flight for very quick escapes. Yeah, that's probably going to be enough to kill her. But, I mean, you're trading a character, a hero, for a Walker? Well, I guess you get a flex slot too out of it. But not like a fantastic trade. 20k soul difference, starting to shrink a little bit. But in order to really get that soul difference going, you need those objectives. You need to be able to poke at those that last Guardian, those Walkers. And Meal Creeps is not going to let you the space to do that. As we were discussing before a couple games ago, losing Guardians is part of the game. It's completely normal. Losing Walkers, that usually only happens because a mistake has been made somewhere. And Meal Creeps is going to be less likely to do mistakes with a 20k soul lead. Damn, funky stuff going on all over this game. We do see another huge fight happening. The Vindicta just is diving for the Walker, gets all the Walker, gets knocked down immediately. Big cube to save her. Is this going to be a really big team fight? Yamato is... Sorry, Vindicta is dead now. Geist is trying to trade right now. She does manage to get a massive swap on the Warden, but it is not going to be enough. Warden is not enough to win this one. So, yeah. Very good stuff coming in. But yeah, 3 versus 4 picks, not like a horrible trade, but your big problem at the end of the day is you keep losing Walkers. And that soul difference at 28k now is just really hard to come back from. Like, if you're at 10k soul difference, you're like, okay, we just need to win a team fight, which is certainly possible at 10k soul difference. Oh yeah. That was a little bit premature. So as an Ivy, you want to be saving that stone form for the ult, because you can deny the Shiv their ult. Very good pick there. He was about to waltz in. So, nice stuff. Urn is being picked up. Mirage does have it. Is it going to be enough pressure? We do see that Ivy's about to spawn in a couple seconds. They might be able to contest this urn, but they're just so behind. And with that Viscous Ball coming in, it's going to be so hard to have like a cohesive battle strategy. Ivy comes in with Silence. It is paramount that she gets... Oh, well, she doesn't have Silence. She doesn't have Max Ult either. It is paramount that she does well here. A very big support, Ivy. Warden comes in, does get silenced, does get a pick with his ult, regardless of... sorry, gets knocked down. He gets a pick with his ult regardless. They're very deep into the opponent's base, but that's not going to matter. It seems like Shrines are up next. But, yeah. It's Abrams is going to try and make a run for it in the wrong direction. He's going to get picked. And with 3 picks, even if the guy spawns in a little bit, you're 30k ahead. You might as well take your chances and get that Shrine, get that Patron. No need to do something like contest mid here. Right? Like, the reason why you do mid is so you can get Shrines and Patron easily, even if you mess up. You can't mess up here, you're ahead. So yeah, they're probably going to pull Patron. They might have to sack a hero or 2 for it. Yeah, but they're smart. They know they have to back. The Pocket does waste his Affliction. I don't think he got a single person in the Affliction. And the Shiv goes right in! An 11-3-7 Shiv, ladies and gents. Very powerful character. The Yamato is completely imprisoned right there. No ult to save her. No anything. And they might just go and finish the job here. Screw getting mid. Yeah, with that pick of the Geist, it might just be an 80-minute game. Yeah, big majestic leap into ult coming in. They're just forcing the Walker. A lot of healing coming into that Warden. It's just so hard to contest it while he is on that ult. He does a lot of damage. And yeah, what do you have here? You're gonna throw Kudzu at him? That's not going to be enough. Pocket comes in, tries to do some last minute damage. That's not going to be enough. GG. So hello there, Yodi. Congratulations on your team's win.
Thank you. Thanks for having us and bringing us back in. I'm trying to keep the trend up with the team managers. I know last week was Sabubu, so looking like it's me this week.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, the team managers can give a lot of perspectives that players can't, so I do really appreciate whoever comes up. There's been what I would consider a meteoric rise in melee creeps in the past couple of weeks. You were certainly one of the top teams in NA, but you've been very consistently beating Hydronation and all the other teams. Like, what do you attribute that big change in your team's momentum? Do you figure out something about the game? Is it the recent joining of Quake? What's going on there?
Yeah, so I think our team's honestly always been quick learners and adapters to the game. We can see it with like how we've grown from even back when the game was still 4 lanes, and I think it was like week 10 in DFN when we came in and took the win. We're just always growing and learning. So like as the games continue to progress, I think the players on our team are just really good at adapting and always learning and always working. I mean, we play or they play, consistently, put in the work, put in the hours day in and day out. So definitely with that, and then obviously, as Pashi mentioned last week on the DFN as well, we were kind of lacking like a hardcore fight pacemaker and like IGL, and Quig kind of came in and stepped up and filled those shoes with his MOBA experience. So it's definitely been like a great attribute to our success lately as well.
So yeah, I mean, of course, if I would talk with a player, it would be a bit more different. But we talk about this idea of fight pacemaking. Uh, is it the case that like the idea of a captain hasn't crystallized yet, and a lot of teams are just playing what they think is best? Like, do you think like teams are not well coordinated with each other, or do you think it's just
Yeah, definitely. Like it's a lot harder. Deadlock obviously being 6 players. Most MOBAs aren't 6, and it's the traditional 5. So Deadlock having an additional player, and it being first person rather than that top down view. There's only so much that you can really see based off of where you're at, and having someone really command the fights and like say, hey, like we need to be fighting here, we need to be grouping here. Hey, like we have Kelvin Dome, play on me, and stuff like that. Really just kind of controls the pace of the fight and just really keeps everything locked in. Where if you don't have somebody really just kind of calling the shots, even micro rather than macro, like it really helps like you stay focused on the fight and win the fight there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of MOBA experience myself. Is it the case that there will be like a player like external to the game as a captain and be like, hey, these are the plays that we're planning on doing? Or is the captain always like an in-game person?
Since you can't really speak to like a team manager or a coach during the game, it's having that person in game that's able to make those quick decisions and say like it's good that it's Quig, because if Quig's on Ivy or Kelvin, if he has just Kelvin, for example, he can call, I have Dome, play next to me,
Mhm.
and let's take a fight here. Versus like if you don't have somebody doing that, you're kind of not coordinated, and then your carries can get picked off, and you're not utilizing the Kelvin Dome fully, and et cetera, like that. So just having somebody really commanding where to take fights when it makes the fights more favorable on your side.
Yeah, like the only, and I've never played World of Warcraft either. I'm admitting to the whole universe that I'm a horrible nerd, but like the only like reference point I have is that for World of Warcraft raids, there used to be it used to be the case that was exactly like what's happening in Deadlock right now, where the captain was in the raid and that was the person doing the shots. But now, for most raids, they have like an external captain who's just like coordinating everything. I was curious if that's even like a viable strategy, but regardless, no, it's very good having the voice and coordinating. Uh, it's very important. Do you see do you see the strength of teams be more in the team being cohesive? So like the team plays well with each other, as you said, like Quake is now calling the shots, or do you see it more being the individual players? Like, oh, this like John is fantastic at bebop, right?
Yeah, so like obviously that's gonna have a lot of help towards it. Like, I mean, we can't barely make it through a draft. I mean, who's getting Bebop first banned anymore? It's almost like a no-brainer that you play the melee creeps, you ban out John's Bebop. So like, there's always just having a lot of different attributes is good for that, but specifically in regards to like, as we were talking about like the fights and everything, like I think our players were always really, really good. I mean, we have AVG and Pashi for our solo lanes back in the 4 lanes, and people regarded to them as like the two best solo laners. So like, there's always good things, and our players were very high skilled. So it was a matter of just commanding the troops basically. Like, we'll win a fight as long as we put ourselves in the advantage to win the fight, and that's what having that the IGL per se is going to make sure that the fight is going as best as it can, and then just letting the individual skill of the players shine through in the fight and win the fight that way.
So, arguably the top European team is Virtus Pro, and I have unfortunately not had a lot of time to watch Fight Nights recently. But one thing that was very notorious about Virtus Pro is that despite them being incredibly good, they were very weak at like mid boss fights, where they would somewhat frequently lose mid boss even to weaker players. My question is there like an area where you feel melee creeps is like a weakness, and you're like, that's what we're working on right now? Or is it the case that you're like, oh, we're pretty well rounded at this point? We just need to get slightly better at everything.
Yeah, so there's obviously definitely going to be places that are going to be weaker than stronger. Something's always got to be weaker than everything, even if everything is really high up. So there's definitely, things that we can work on. I mean, right now, and I'm not trying to like no glaze to the team, but we're honestly like have become very well rounded. Before I would say that we had good IGLs and we had good leaders, but with it's been a step up recently that we've had, and again, I think my players are very top of the tier of players, whether tier lists say that or not. I do think the players are very good. So individually, obviously there's things to learn, and we're working on our duo laning. I mean, we tend to have the same players in the same lanes. But so getting the new addition of John and getting the new addition of Wig, we're just working on meshing again. But I mean, you can already see that it's been a good mesh so far with what we've had, and Quake's only been with the team I think less than a month at this point, and you would almost never be able to tell that with how well he's meshed in.
No, that's very important. Uh, as I'm sure you know, there was a very big patch relatively recently. I wouldn't say last week, right? And part of that patch was like bebop nerfs. How are you thinking? Like whenever a patch like that happens, how are you thinking about what the new team comps are? What falls in and out? Is it just like, oh, we're gonna go to some scripts and see what works? Is it the case that you guys are like gathering together, like huddling and theory crafting and being like, oh, this character doesn't have that much damage output? Or is it the case that you're like, okay, we have these team comps, even if they're nerfed, we're very confident and this is how we want to play the game?
So a great case of that would be, as you mentioned, Bebop got really a lot of people were like, wow, he got tanked, he's going to be awful. And if anything, we've actually seen that the good Bebop players still make Bebop work. So like Bebop got nerfed, and John still has teams banning Bebop against him. So there are just some cases of it where like the player is just really like they're gonna make the character work unless the character fully gets just completely gutted. But then when
Like
there's updates
McGinnis.
that come like McGinnis, but then there's updates where like people are just waiting for the one flip of McGinnis, one buff that really just sends McGinnis again over the top, and then people will see McGinnis fall right back in. Quig relatively brought back the Ivy. Quig started playing, from what I saw at least. I can't say that I get to watch every scrim, but we picked up Quig, played with Ivy the first week in DFN, won with it, and a lot of teams are fitting Ivy into the schedule. I mean, Lomain went out and put a performance on Lash in EU. It was good. The 1-win tournament was great because NA got to have some, exposure to the EU side, and the EU side got to see some of the NA side. And what I've always heard is that like EU didn't really have a strong Lash, so we put Lomain got to put on Lash. He put on a performance with it, and now Lash got picked in the finals all three games. Now I wouldn't say it won all three games, but so there's definitely things where you start to learn from. Again, scrims is a great place, and just seeing how other teams are playing with a character can really open up what you think or you see what a character can really do, and then you kind of just fit it into your scheme.
Yeah, which brings me to another question. Maybe not right now because we still have such a limited hero pool where we very frequently see like half of the heroes be picked almost every single game. But do you think there is already a difference between the way that the EU envisions the game, both in drafts and how they play it, and NA envisions the game? Or do you think that, or do you think that that's something that's going to happen in the future? But right now, everybody's playing the same game.
No, I think there's absolutely a difference in the way the game's played. I mean, EU, at least it's getting closer, but way before EU just used to play a much cleaner, much more macro sense of the game, where NA was inclined to do a lot of fighting. So I think as the game develops and each team starts to get more opportunities. I mean, EU had so many more opportunities than NA, so they kind of had more professional settings to get that practice in. So I definitely think, at least I can speak on my team because I kind of do it a lot. But like when there's ever events like 1-win or DFN where we get the opportunity to really watch the EU side play, we'll take a look at their draft and we'll really theory craft and be like, why did this team pick this? Was it because of what the other team drafted? Were they forced into that pick? Or are they crafting something with this character? And it really just makes think, or did they just pick this pick because they're having fun? And there's so many mind games with draft right now and theory crafting. Like again, like are you picking Kelvin for the dome for mid boss because you're weak at mid boss? Or there's a lot to it. So I definitely think the way NA plays is getting much better. We saw it in the 1-win tournament, NA taking fourth place with the ping, and I think the gap is getting smaller every day with the difference in how the game's played. And there is no way to say which way the game's played should be played even until we get to meet each other without 100 ping or whenever that comes.
So two more questions for you to not keep it too long. Is there any advice that you would give to the other NA teams in terms of like becoming better? Like, what do you see? Like one thing that you think all the teams are struggling with? Is it like mid boss fights, or maybe the way they approach early game, or is it like macro? Like, what do you think NA needs to be as good as EU, essentially, or better than EU?
Realistically, it's obviously there's a skill difference, and that's just how it is with everything. I don't even want to put it even on the players so much as NA really just needs opportunity. We're having crazy burnout over here, and I truly like obviously a lot of people
Yeah.
are putting a lot of work into it, myself included, and I just wish that there was more opportunity so that way a lot of these players didn't get the burnout. It's sad to see. Like it's almost every other week a team's going down because there's really nothing to do anymore. If it wasn't for Snake, First Strike, DFN,
Yeah.
there's and all the other people just doing it on their own will. There's just not much to play for in NA right now. So my biggest advice is just hang in there, keep grinding because it's esports and taking even one day off alone just doesn't you start losing your skill. So like if you really want to be the best, you just got to put your head down and grind for it and try your best not to burn out. Because I totally understand where you guys are coming from with the burnout, and it's we just got to hang in there.
No, so I try, of course, to keep things interesting. Glutensnake's Den was a tournament that had like 9 signups, I want to say, in the past, and now we will only have 5. And I do feel it personally. I love seeing new teams. It was fantastic to see BBL show up this time, and I really hope that we'll see the new team. TIP, was it?
Yep, Troopers in Paris. They
Troopers
are a
in
new
Paris.
team. They will have some familiar faces, some faces that maybe not so familiar with. But it's great to see that teams are still forming because it's what we need. And it's just again, just put your head down, keep grinding, and just keep working at it. And that's honestly the best. I mean, Melee Creeps didn't start at the top, and we got here again from just putting in the work. So just keep grinding and try not to burn out. That's all. That's the best advice I have because it's definitely there.
And yeah, and I really hope that future Glutensnakes then will see even more new teams, because this is like what the big reason why I'm keeping the tournament open instead of making it invite only like DFN. I want to see new teams. I want to see them play. I want to see new people being given a chance. And yeah, the burnout, I do feel it a lot. I was talking about this during the game. I recruit people for like One Trick Championship, which is our 6v6 mono hero tournament. I'm sure everybody knows about it. And I've had at least 2 instances of 2 pretty good players, I won't say any names, who basically said, yeah, I've uninstalled the game. I can't really play games anymore. Which is incredibly sad to me, because there's just so much going on, and I really, really hope that this game grows and becomes huge. Regardless, my last question, I always like asking this question last. Do you think there's a question I should be asking to you that I have not asked to you?
No, actually, I think you've asked relatively good questions, being that I'm not a player, so you can't really get too specifics out of me. I mean, I don't actually play Deadlock; I just watch it way too much. So I think a lot of the questions, like, I felt that I could answer even without playing. So I think you did a good job with that.
Well, thank you so much, as always, and thank you so much to Melee Creeps for showing up. Congratulations on your win, and have a good day.
Thank you again, a pleasure. Thank you for having us. Thanks for running it because it's what the scene needs, and thanks for having us and just doing what you do. I appreciate it. And have a
Awesome.
good rest of your day as well.